before, I really break it down to those three pillars to see if those are strong enough to build the house on. If we don't have the foundation, we can't even talk about the sex.
Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, LaToya Williams, here for Queer Conversations, and we have the lovely Mayoshi here today, talking about all things related to sex and sexuality. Mayoshi, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're super
really
welcome.
excited to be here. My name is Mayoshi Smith. I am a relationship enhancement specialist and a sexpert and a sex coach.
Awesome. I love it. I got lots of questions. Lots of questions. Okay, so before we get started with some of the one-on-one questions, let's get into some sizzling subjects.
Okay. I'm excited.
So the first thing I have on my list is, so recently I saw that Steve Harvey had some drama in his life, right? So
I feel like he always has drama.
I know. Isn't it crazy? Like over the past couple years, it seems like he's been constantly plagued in the media with either he said the wrong thing or hanging out with Trump or just all kinds of stuff. But there's some divorce rumors hanging around now about he and his wife and how she's only with him for the money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't heard that. So this is news to
All
me.
news? Okay.
This is news to me.
Well, you know, and also his show was recently canceled.
I feel like I've heard that.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I don't keep up with Steve Harvey too much because for me, he's kind of canceled. I mean, yeah.
So why is he canceled?
The straight cisgendered man telling women what to do thing is not my thing.
You know, it's
I think he means well, but I'll stick to Family Feud.
I love it. I love it. It's so funny that you said that because Tony Rock, Chris Rock's brother, had this very interesting take on Steve Harvey giving advice to women on how to land a husband. It was like, this is the guy that's been divorced how many times?
Yeah.
That's cheated on how many women?
Yeah.
That's been, you know, misogynistic in so many ways.
Yeah.
And now we're taking advice from this person.
Yes. Again, I'm just like, stay in your lane. You know, like, I don't know. I don't want to bash him. I think honestly he means well, but I just personally don't need advice from Steve Harvey.
I feel you. I completely understand. Like, I'm good over here. Yeah, like we got
now,
it
if you want
together.
to go on a, Kings of Comedy tour, I support that.
But advice on relationships, not so much.
It's okay.
Yeah, I totally
I'm
get it. So then recently, Cardi B, who is completely fabulous, I completely love her, and the fact that she is authentically herself all the time.
Very much so.
But they photographed her wearing a bathrobe, shopping on Rodeo Drive.
Wait, okay, where are you getting this? I swear, I'm like, where have I?
But
I feel like I'm a person that watches things. Like, I did not see this.
But it's not the first time because she flies in a bathrobe and slippers and that kind of thing. And there was this whole big thing about, travel chic and what is considered travel chic or whatever.
Yes.
But shopping, walking down the street in a bathrobe and bedroom slippers?
Yeah, see, that is, that's rich people shit. Like, we wouldn't be able to get away with that.
Not at all.
Like you and I would never be able. We probably actually had the police called on us.
Exactly.
If we were
on Rodeo Drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, not so much.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, that's rich people shit. I don't have that type of money to go out in bathrobes.
With a bonnet.
With a bonnet.
Yeah. No.
Well, at least she has her coins. She's like, screw it.
Exactly. What you gonna do, right? Like, who gonna check me, boo?
I still have my millions to spend on Rodeo Drive, and I'll go out in my bathrobe if I want to.
Wow.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm just the kind of girl that has to be pulled together.
Well,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? Like, even if
And why do
I'm
you
dressed
have to be
down.
that way, though? Like, even though you can be that way, but why?
That's a good question.
Why?
So when Cardi comes on the show, we're gonna ask her.
I just don't understand. Like, yes, you have the money to be like. I find it to be douchey. I just find it to be a little douchey.
Hashtag douchey.
Like, because you know that you would not be able to do that if you didn't have that type of money.
Right.
So now you have
Very
the money,
true.
you have the clout, and now you're just like, screw it. I'll just do whatever the hell I feel like doing.
But then again, it is Cardi B. I kind of see Cardi B before money, still wearing a bathrobe, walking down the street.
Not
That's
on
me
Rodeo
personally.
Drive.
Maybe not on Rodeo Drive.
Keep that in the Bronx then. If you want to do, absolutely, I can see.
But I
going
could
to the
totally see it.
bodega.
Yes, I could totally
see you going
see it.
to the bodega in
Exactly.
the Bronx in your bathroom, and you keep that there. I'm from New York, so I understand.
Oh my gosh, what part of New York?
I'm from Brooklyn and Long Island.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I moved down here from Brooklyn, but so I understand I'm going to be in my bedroom slippers and my bathrobe in Brooklyn going to the bodega. I mean, I wasn't that way. Let's be clear.
Let's be clear.
But I have seen other people do
Right,
it.
right.
And it's like, okay, I can understand that, but we can keep that in the 5 boroughs. We don't need
Of New York, honey.
of New York.
Or New Jersey.
New Jersey, New Jerusalem, like, yeah, we can keep that.
Yeah, not
over
so
there.
much. So another thing that's been recently in the news, the school, a Palm Beach County school official called the police on a parent and called child protective custody.
Yes.
Because the child came to school with a backpack and bugs were crawling out of this backpack. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a whole nother story. I swear, talking to you, I feel like I live underneath a rock. Because I have never heard of any of these things.
So did you think I was gonna ask about the dress code for
Yes!
parents going to, yeah.
I was like, no, not that story. Okay, got it.
Yeah, but that's been a new thing also, where now the parents have a dress code going to the school. So
Yeah.
if you're going to meet your kid's teacher or to pick your child up from school,
Or drop them off.
or drop them off,
off.
you have to be dressed a particular way.
Yeah, they said no bonnets, no rollers, no leggings. She said
Yes.
no leggings.
And I think the woman that started all of this had on like a t-shirt, dress, and bonnet and some slides or something, and they felt like that was completely inappropriate
Yeah.
to come to the school to meet with the
And
teacher.
mind you, this is a principal, and I could have sworn that she was African American.
Yes, she was.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is like an African American woman principal. Like, no.
But do you think that it is more prevalent in the African American community to, I guess, present yourself this way or not be pulled together when you're going to your kid's school?
Oh, I hate to say the stereotype, but yes. I mean, I feel it's not that I don't feel like white mothers, are in sweatpants or like flip flops or things like
Or
that.
leggings or whatever, yeah.
But the bonnet thing is definitely a black woman
that's a black
thing.
thing. Absolutely. I hate to say it, but it definitely
bonnet.
is. Yeah, but I'm from the South. I'm from Florida. So I saw a lot of white parents who came to the school looking completely disheveled. So I think it's more a geographical thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think if you're in Baltimore or New York or a predominantly African American community, you would see parents or just people period dressed a particular type of way. But then if you're in rural areas where it's mostly Caucasian people, then you see them disheveled and looking a particular type of way.
I definitely agree that it's definitely based on where you're at.
Yeah.
What neighborhood you're at in those areas too. I mean, yeah. I mean, but I had a bus, so my mother wasn't dropping me off, so I don't have that type of.
Oh, okay.
I don't even have the type of childhood of my mom dropping me off and then in her pajamas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
one of the things that because I was hearing this discussion, and they were saying even the children are embarrassed though. The mom is coming out and it's slippers and the rollers in the hair and.
Yeah. See,
the
my
kids are
experience.
Please stay in the car.
My grandmother would come to the school at the drop of a dime. And when she came, she wore her house dress and had clothespins pinned in the front because she was home taking care of household things. And I would always be embarrassed, always. And she thought that was decent, and everybody else thought it was decent. But I was just like, oh my God, you can't believe my grandmother she with clothespins in the front of her dress.
Yeah.
And it was all the time, so I made sure I didn't get in trouble.
A shift dress or a little one-piece jumper.
Yeah, okay, I cannot get in trouble because my grandma's gonna come up here. Okay, so let's see what else I have here. Oh, Black China's in the news again. So recently,
Prayer for Black China.
they're about to really go after this girl because she threatened her hairstylist with a knife, people. A knife.
Okay.
I'm not even sure what the argument was about, but it's Black China, hairstylist, and a sharp weapon.
Got it. It's very Naomi Campbell of her, but like an upgrade. Remember when Naomi Campbell was like throwing the cell phone?
Yeah, it was a
at,
cell
like, the nail
phone
tech?
or a beeper or something.
Yeah, no, it was the cell
It
phone.
was a cell
at the nail
phone.
tech.
Okay.
I remember that. You know, I'm like an old school rumors person. You know, like I know 90s rumors. I'm
90s
like,
rumors.
Okay.
So have you been keeping up with the Housewives?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
so
yes.
So
Something
we're
that I
on
know
subject.
about.
We are on subject, people. We're on subject. Okay, so this is a good question. Okay, so the whole thing with Nene Leakes and Cynthia Bailey, feeling like you have a friend that I don't really rock with, should you call ahead of time to let me know that this friend that I don't rock with is potentially going to come to an event?
I find this, okay, this is something that I actually know about, so I'm very excited. So here's my breakdown in regards to that.
Okay.
First of all, I find this entire discussion to be so high school.
Juvenile.
So trivial.
Juvenile, absolutely. I completely agree.
These women are damn near 100 years old. Why are you acting like this? Life is way too short.
Absolutely.
Right?
I agree.
So
I agree.
that's first of all. I just find this to be insane to lose a friendship.
And
friendship.
And have it cost you your friendship on national television.
On national television.
Yes.
So that's first of all. However, if I'm going to, as a coach, right, I'm always to try to step outside myself and see something from another person's perspective, even if I don't agree with them, right?
Right.
And so if I'm putting myself in Nene's shoes, and she's like, Cynthia is one of my best friends, she's like a sister to me, and she knows that I have an enemy, a quote unquote enemy, right?
Oh my gosh.
And this enemy may be at this event. I would like a heads up, just emotionally. But I'm also, so that's me like being in her shoes, right?
Right.
But would I let that cost an entire friendship and like over a decade of friendship?
Yeah.
Especially when the event is to celebrate said friend.
Right.
Right?
Right.
The event
yeah.
is not about me. It's not like it has potentially invited this person to my
like your
house,
birthday party
my
or something.
birthday
You're
party,
right. Right.
My wedding renewal or something
Yeah.
like that. It has not. The event is not about me.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, would I be a little bit hurt by not having like a potential heads up? I would have a conversation about it, say I was hurt, but this event is about you, and just in the future, can you let me know?
Right. Okay, I get that. I guess I'm so over it. Like when I think about it, I'm like, I don't care. Like I could be in a room with an enemy or with someone that I don't really bang
And
with.
be cordial.
And be fine.
And be an adult,
completely
because
fine.
we're adults.
They can sit next to me. That doesn't mean that I'm suddenly gonna melt into the sofa, that my whole world is coming to an end. I'll be perfectly fine and still be cute. Yes, ma'am. I mean, and still have a great time. Like this person
Absolutely.
would not sour it. I think the part that really surprised me with Nene is the fact that when Kenya walked in the door, her whole demeanor changed.
The whole thing.
Like she immediately went sour.
And she started making jabs at a woman who's pregnant.
9 months pregnant.
9 months pregnant, making jabs at her, and then completely turning the focus into me.
Right.
And not celebrating someone who's supposed to be her actual friend and her achievements. And
Yeah.
I think that's where you see it wasn't really a true friendship. It was a very, very toxic relationship.
Very one-sided.
Very one-sided.
Yeah. So then, and also, staying close with the Atlanta Housewives, so it's been announced that Phaedra Parks will potentially come back on the show. And Candy said,
Not having it.
yeah, she
Not
said, it's
having
either
it.
her or me. If she comes back, I could potentially leave. She's even said, this person came on the show, lied, thought that they were going to get away with it, and now bringing them back gives them another opportunity to lie and a way to cover it up better this time because she knew what happened last time. Have you ever been in a situation where it's them or me?
No, I haven't. I've never been in that situation.
How do you feel about Candy putting that ultimatum out there?
I think that, again, seeing it from her perspective, she has a brand. She has a full brand, and it wasn't a small lie. I mean, it was something that could have literally cost her children.
Everything, yeah.
It could have cost literally everything. And so those type of things you can't, it's more than the show.
Yeah.
Right? It's not worth it. It's not worth for her losing everything to be around this person. It's more than toxic. You know, so she has to protect herself, her family, her brand. Just
It's
from
criminal.
seeing it from her perspective. Now, from a fan perspective, absolutely bring Phaedra back. Please, I want it. I want to see all the drama. I want to see the apology tour. I want the Phaedra apology tour.
Oh, absolutely. 2019.
I want to see Phaedra dating.
I want to see her squirm. I want to see her like tight-lipped. All of that.
Absolutely. I want it. I want it.
Give it when I say hot tea, hot tea.
Yes, I want it.
Hot tea.
I want it.
And on that note, we will be right back. We have to pay some bills. Can't be in this lovely space without paying some bills. We'll be right back after this. Hey everybody, we are back with Mayoshi Smith talking about all things sexuality and sexual and intimacy and stuff like that. So Mayoshi, I want you to expound a little bit on your experience and where you are and what you do, especially Pure Romance by Mayoshi.
So I have been studying human sexuality and how it intertwines with religion and politics for over 15 years now.
Wow, okay.
It's literally been my life's work and my life's journey. I just celebrated my 4-year anniversary of Pure Romance by Mayoshi.
Awesome, yes.
June 10th is my 4-year anniversary. So I have been on a long road and a long journey to get to where I'm at right now.
And Pure Romance by Mayoshi started off as a part-time business and now it's full-time for you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was in higher education actually once I started my business. And I realized that I really needed to take a gamble on myself. And I really needed to pursue fully what my passion is. And left the corporate world to really just invest in me and to invest in my clients full time.
Oh, wow. So then, so before we get into the deep questions, first tell us, how do you identify?
Sexually?
Yes.
I mean, there could be so many things, right?
You're right.
So I never assumed. So I am pansexual.
Okay. Now you have to explain to the viewers what exactly pansexual means.
So pansexual is someone who I really don't look at like sex or gender or anything like that. I love who I love.
Okay. So you're more attracted to personality and
Absolutely.
energy.
The spirit, the energy. Yes.
So some folks will probably ask, would that make you bisexual?
So I still am personally learning the difference between what bisexuality is and what pansexuality is. And I'm sure someone will tell me that I am wrong, and I am open to learning. But I feel like the difference is that bisexuality is literally two genders. Bi,
correct.
Right? So man or female. And so that really doesn't include non-binary people, right?
Oh, good point.
So bi meaning two, it does not include non-binary.
Okay.
And pansexuality is all.
Right. However you identify as far
however
as
you
gender.
identify.
Okay. Okay. That makes, you open my eyes. Thank you very much. I'm learning every single day.
Someone can always email me if I'm 110% wrong. I am open to learning, but I feel like that is the correct answer.
So when you say that you are a sex expert or sexpert and specialize in human sexuality, what's one of the major questions that people ask?
Oh goodness. One of the major questions that people ask. A lot of people struggle in their relationships in regards to not being sexually compatible with their partner.
Okay.
They realized, I don't want to say a little bit too late, but a lot of times my couples are married, that they are not sexually compatible. So I'll give you an example of that. I have a friend who happens to also, I coach as well. And she's a straight cisgendered woman, married to a straight cisgendered man, and they have 3 kids together, and they've been married for 10 years.
Okay.
And she just found out after 10 years of marriage and 3 kids that she is asexual. And
after 10 years of being married and having children, she considers herself asexual.
Yes.
Wow.
And she didn't realize that. I was actually doing a live discussion with someone who I did a podcast episode with, and the topic of asexuality came up, and I was saying how I'm finding more and more of my clientele are asexual.
Okay.
And she happened to be listening in, and she started doing more research on asexuality, and she called me up one day, and she's like, I did the research, I really thought about it and I prayed about it, and I really think that I'm asexual.
So now you have to explain to the folks what is asexual.
So just like homosexual, bisexuality, asexual or ace people, ACE, they do not have any sexual orientation. They are non-sexual. So they are not sexually attracted to anyone. They just are not interested in sexuality. They're not interested in sex. And a lot of ace people feel like they're broken.
Oh.
I mean, think about a man, right? So if you are not getting hard, and if you are, in a relationship with a female and you're just not interested in sex, the first thing that women are going to think is, he's gay.
Yeah. Or there's something wrong with me.
There's something wrong with me. He's gay. Let's go to Viagra. Those are like the 3 things, right?
Right.
And then
yeah.
a guy is going to be like, well, I know I'm not gay, and maybe I need to be on drugs, or what's wrong with me, because society has put that out there, right?
Right.
I mean, think about when you think about asexuality, there are no main characters on TV that are asexual. We definitely did not learn about that in sex ed or health class, and that's if we had sex ed or health class, right?
Right.
There are no mainstream characters in movies, TVs, or books, and most people don't even know about asexuality.
Right.
And so when you have it where people are asexual, but they don't even know it because they don't even know what asexuality is, it's more of, I'm broken.
Something is
wrong with me.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong with me. And they don't know even how to identify it or verbalize it because they physically do not even know the terminology. They don't know what it is.
So when you find a couple or someone who they're dating or they're in an intimate relationship with and it's committed or whatever that situation looks like, and they're finding that they're not sexually compatible with their partners, what are some of the things that they can do to become compatible or to adjust to the other person's sexual habits or sexual desire?
Yeah, so that's a great question. One of the things that I always talk about with my couples is communication.
Okay.
Communication is one of my 3 pillars in regards to my coaching. So the 3 pillars in regards to having any type of healthy relationship, and I include a working relationship, a friendship, mother-daughter, platonic, romantic relation, any type of relationship, there needs to be 3 pillars, and I consider them to be respect, trust, and communication.
I like that. Respect, trust, and communication.
And if you think about it, in any type of relationship that you have, if you don't have one of those 3 pillars, it's not a healthy
Right.
relationship.
Right.
You don't trust your boss. That is not going to be a healthy relationship between
Absolutely.
employee and manager.
Oh, absolutely.
If you can't communicate your needs, wants, and desires to your partner, that is not going to be a healthy, flourishing relationship.
Right.
If a son or a daughter doesn't respect their parent, that is not going to be a healthy
The relationship, right.
So any type of relationship, no matter big or small in your life, if it doesn't have those 3 pillars, it is not going to be a healthy one. So that's where I start off with all of my couples.
Okay.
Or any of my single people too.
Right.
So whatever they're coming to me for, I really break it down to those 3 pillars to see if those are strong enough to build the house on. If we
Okay.
don't have the foundation, we can't even talk about the sex.
Oh, okay. I
I'm
like
not-
that.
I'm not talking about the sex because that's on the attic.
Right.
The sex is in the attic. If we don't have a foundation, we can't go
We
to
can't
the
even
attic.
build up
We
to
can't
right
go
to
to the
where we
attic.
need to be. Okay.
There's no house. There's no
Wow.
house. So a lot of times my couples are coming to me talking about the attic, and they don't even have communication skills down packed. So we need to break it all the way down and go to the foundation first,
Okay.
and then build up.
So the first conversation is, well, they're coming to you saying, I'm having this problem, I feel like this person's not attracted to me, or, they want to have sex all the time and I don't want to have, that type of thing. But you're saying to them, listen, how often are you communicating with you? Or how well are you communicating? Are you listening to understand? Are you listening to respond? Like that type of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I hear the story from both perspectives.
Okay.
I'm more so, especially the first session is mostly about hearing, right? Because to be a great communicator, you need to be a great listener first.
Right, absolutely.
And so I want to hear both people's perspective and see where they're coming from. And by hearing, then I can physically see if they are even hearing each other.
And earlier you and I were talking about love languages and how each of us, we have some folks in the room, also our director and producer and things like that, talking about, do we know what our love language is and how that translates to the other person?
Yes.
Now, how much work are you doing with couples and single people about their love language?
So one of the things as a coach that differs from me being a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist or anything like that, I give homework. I'm very much of an action-oriented coaching, and I don't give the same homework to
everybody,
Yeah,
right.
This is not like I have like a stack of things and everyone gets the same treatment. But the one thing that I do require of every single person that comes to me is they have to take the 5 love languages quiz.
Okay.
And the reason why is because if you don't know how you need love, then you can't communicate how you need love. How can you actively and effectively and efficiently communicate your needs, wants, and desires if you don't know where that motivation is coming from?
Right.
You can't really verbalize it if you don't know.
Right.
And so that's something that I require of literally every single client of mine. It's literally 15 minutes and it's free. And it just makes things so much smoother and easier, because a lot of times the disposition of the couple is that someone's love language is conflicting with the other
With
partner's
their
love language, right? And so, if someone's love language is physical touch and that's the other partner's like least love language, right? So you can have one person always wanting to give massages and hugs and to cuddle, and the other person is like, mine's is acts of service. I just want you to take out the trash. I just want you to
Cut the
empty.
grass.
I want you to cut the
Yeah.
grass. I want you to take care of the kids. So you have these conflicting love languages where the one person feels like they're showing love, but that's not the way the other person
person's
needs
receiving
love.
it. Right.
Right? And so it makes it so much easier because then we can start from there. Again, that's just the foundation
Right.
of acting and showing love based off of your partner's love language.
See, and I find that to be so interesting. And I think for me, I kind of think of it as if you speak Spanish and I speak English. So I'm communicating with you with English, and you're saying,
No habla.
right? You just don't understand.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
steady trying to talk to
Absolutely.
you, and it's just not being received. I'm
Absolutely.
speaking good English, but
Absolutely.
you don't understand English.
So I'll give you a perfect example from one of my my longtime clients. His love language is physical touch, or excuse me, his girlfriend's love language is physical touch,
Right.
and his love language is words of affirmation. And so she was going through an extremely stressful week, and he was saying all the right things, uplifting her, motivating her. You got this. You're
Right.
amazing. And he was like, no, I do hold her hand and stuff like that. He's telling me this, and I know him pretty well by now. He's a long-term client of mine, and so I'm listening to him. And I said, what's her love language again? And he's like, physical touch. And I said, did you give her a massage while you were telling her this?
Yeah.
Were you rubbing her feet while you were telling her this? Were you caressing her hair? Were you rubbing her shoulder?
Yeah,
I was
that's so
remember,
interesting.
her love language is physical touch.
Right.
Not words of affirmation.
That's for you.
That's for you.
Right,
And
yeah.
so I'm not telling you not to do those things, but I'm telling you, you have to give the love language with intent. That's the difference.
Loving intentionally.
There's a difference between like just holding someone's hand and like kind of like letting it go while you're walking down the street versus holding someone's hand,
Caressing it, right,
caressing
right.
it
Absolutely.
with intention. You have to love with intention.
I love that. Yes. Pay attention.
There's a difference.
I love
right?
it. It is very much a difference. It is very much a difference. So then I wanted to talk about some of the Pure Romance by Mayoshi. So what's your top seller?
Oh my goodness. Jump right into that. You know what? Surprisingly, one of my top sellers is our rash-free, bump-free shave cream.
Really?
It's actually called...
See, my mind is
I
in
know.
the gutter.
I
It is
know.
in the gutter.
Well, it's called Coochie, so...
Okay, well, we back. We're back. Okay, so
No, it's
Coochie is cute.
It's kind of insane. It's patent. It's literally for your underarms, bikini, legs, whatever you need to shave. And it was such a top seller that men were using it, and we were saying like men love Coochie all over their face.
They should. If they don't, they should.
So we came out with some sportier scents for them.
Okay.
As well.
I
We
love
changed
that.
the name to Shave for them.
Shave. Shave.
But
Okay.
honestly, it's such an amazing product that I know I have a lot of guys in the military that have to, shave their beard all the time.
Right.
And they insist on it. I mean, it's just such a clean, smooth shave. And again, it's like bump-free, rash-free. So I know that wasn't what you were expecting, but I
And
have
who
to say,
was it?
if I'm being honest, like that is literally one of my
So
top
what did you
sellers.
think that I thought it was?
I mean, obviously, we were thinking of all the fun buzzing items. Which, I mean, so my top selling toy, it's called the Main Attraction.
Oh,
Yes.
you should have brought props. Next time.
Next time.
Next time.
To be continued. To be continued. It is a dual action G-spot and clitoral vibrator, completely waterproof, a lithium ion battery, and it has 24 karat gold on top of it as well. Yes, it is the Bentley for your vagina. You're welcome. Yes.
I'm gonna need a catalog.
Yes. It's pretty fantastic. Yes.
That's awesome. All of that fabulousness.
Oh yeah. Food grade silicone on it too, the highest grade of silicone, so it warms to your body temperature. So, yes.
So on our
You're
next
welcome.
episode with Mayoshi.
You're welcome.
So when you do the coaching and some of these Pure Romance by Mayoshi parties, are they couples oriented, or is it just for the single girls or the ladies' night out?
So the coaching is completely different than the parties,
Okay.
right? So the parties are for my women and non-binary
Okay.
who want to just have a really good time. And the thing is so a lot of people have gone to a toy party before, and it's really not like that with me because I'm an educator. And as you can see, I love to drop a little gems here and there.
Yes.
My parties are so fun, but the biggest compliment for me is that women and non-binary folk go away learning more about their body, right?
Oh, okay.
So I always like to call myself a sexy Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. It's the after-school special.
That's a throwback because some of you young folks don't know about Miss Frizzle. She was the business. I love Miss Frizzle, by the way.
I
Okay.
know, right?
Yeah, I really did. Okay.
She was on shrooms.
She was on shrooms. Remember the time she went into the muscle? I was like, wow. And I was a kid, but that's another story. It's another
We
episode. Yeah. Okay, so now we talked earlier about relationships and how I'm newly married and all in love and all that kind of stuff. I just, I'm still feeling the warm and fuzzies. She did good.
Yes, she did.
So
Are you looking for a sister wife?
that's another episode. We got 3 episodes with Mayoshi already. So my question is, like, the dynamic in relationships, it changes over time. Do you find some of your relationship couples like dealing with the newness and then it's fading over time? And how do they bring some of that magic back into the relationship?
So that's definitely a top question for some of my couples, especially if they have kids.
Yeah.
How do you keep it spicy? How do we keep it spicy, right? But I find that if you're communicating and you are really putting in that effort into the relationship, then it doesn't really fizzle, right? So, okay, I'm gonna say something controversial.
Do we need to put a disclaimer?
Disclaimer, I'm about to say something that it's controversial. So.
Okay. I'm ready. I am
I'm
ready.
just gonna throw it out
I got
there.
my track sewn in extra tight. I am ready.
So I have I come from a more conservative religious background. People wouldn't know that. But my background is in regards to religious studies and how it intertwines with sex and lawmaking and things of that nature. So because I come from that more conservative and religious background, I truly believe that the husband and wife, or the husband and husband, the wife and wife, I believe that the marriage comes first. I believe that the marriage comes first before the children.
Really?
Absolutely. And so that is very Old
We are going to get
so many.
lots
I know
of comments.
I know.
I already know.
I know. So I did put the disclaimer out there, right?
So you have to
let me
expound.
I know,
You have to.
I know. Okay.
Okay.
So here is where that thinking comes from, right? So if you are religious or spiritual, what have you, so that should come first. Shout out to all my atheists out there. I have so many atheist friends and clients. So if you're not religious or spiritual, then the marriage is first. So if you're religious and spiritual, that should be number one. Mm-hmm. Number two is the marriage. You have made a vow to each other and not to your children. That is not the vow and the covenant that you've made.
That's a very interesting way of looking at it. Okay.
The vow and the covenant is between
the marriage.
The marriage.
It's the marriage. Okay.
Think of yourself on the airplane. They always say put on the mask first.
True.
Before you put on for your children.
Or anyone around you.
Right. Mm-hmm. If you don't have the life and the breath and the blood and the spirit pumping into the marriage first, everything else will fall around you. Everything else will fall around you.
Now, I mean, I have to be honest.
I said it's controversial.
I would never,
I have to come out here and jump on. I can't just,
I mean, and I like it. I like the bond. I like the bond. I do. And I've come from a religious background as well. Mm-hmm. And it's the family from, that's how I was taught. Like, of course, the marriage is very important and making sure that your marriage is breathing and living and, that it's not dead. But it's the family, God, then family, then career.
So I am saying God,
marriage,
your children, if you have any,
right,
and then career.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Now,
the marriage has to be, that is the core of the family. If you have children, again, because there are people who don't have children, right? So that is the core. Mm-hmm. How can you have a whole family? Again, for people who have the children, right? How can you have that wholeness and that complete family if you are not respecting that vow to your spouse first?
So
if you're not putting the children get older and they leave.
Correct. Absolutely.
Leave, right? Mm-hmm. If you are putting your children first, where do you have your marriage once they're gone?
Once the children are gone. You have a very strong point. And I'm starting to lean, well, my children are older, so it's a very different dynamic in our home now.
Absolutely.
But I understand your way of thinking. And it actually does make a lot of sense.
Well, think of the marriages. Okay, think of young marriages, right? Mm-hmm. And then they have the children, and they're always, And
then all the focus goes on the kids,
on the babies and the toddlers and things of that nature. Those are the people that are reaching out to me and saying, our sex life has died, or it used to be this, or we're just not connecting anymore, or this or that. I'm not saying that the children aren't important. Obviously, they are extremely important. Mm-hmm. But it's because you've moved the focus. You have not put the
energy and the time into the marriage
before the children.
Is there a way that we could do it equally? Like, I'm still trying to get the family. I'm still trying to put it all together. So
it's hard. I mean,
it's hard to understand.
Wait a minute. Because so many people are like, my children are my life.
Yes.
My children they just came, they came from me. My children are everything. Okay, well, prepare for your marriage to not be everything. Prepare for that foundation to be shaken
crumble.
And to crumble.
I get it. I'm
just prepare.
Like I said, it makes sense. It's just so foreign. It's very different.
I like to put a little controversy out there.
I saw something on Facebook, and it was like a post in a relationship group that I belong to, and it said, "Who gets fed first? Is it your partner or is it the kids?" Right? And it was like 500 comments underneath this particular post, and it was so like back and forth. But the majority of the people was the kids eat first. You feed the kids first. This grown person. Then a lot of people are like, well, they're providing for the family. The provider should eat first. Now, with your perspective, it would be the husband or the spouse or whoever is in this marriage should definitely be served first.
Now, are we talking about physical food or like spiritual
physical food?
Physical food. I mean, I don't think that
there's anything
for like the parents to sacrifice for the children. And I'm not saying that, but you're doing that together as a couple, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can make that sacrifice together. So let's say if it's financial, and you're like, oh, are we gonna go on a fifth honeymoon, or are we gonna send our kids to
college? Right. That's different.
Maybe you want to send the kids, the private school. I'm
might
not,
want to,
I'm
take care of
not,
the
and I'm
kids.
also not saying in regards to, I think we've all seen those mothers that look like they stepped out of a Vogue magazine, and then their children they may look like they came out of a homeless shelter. I'm also not saying that either, right? So I do want to clarify. I am talking about spiritually, emotionally, physically, not like financially or anything of that nature, or materialistically.
Okay.
I am talking about in the thought, in your heart, in your spirit. The marriage, that foundation, the vow, the vow and the commitment that you have with your partner.
So you're talking about date
Comes
nights. You're talking about just loving on each other and really feeding what this other person's desires and needs are, cultivating the relationship and the bond that you have with your spouse. Am I correct?
If you want to stay married.
I want to stay married.
If you want to,
I want to stay married.
If you want to have, I believe that happiness is fleeting. I think that joy is everlasting. If you want to have a joyful, successful, long-lasting marriage, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
If you want to have the marriage where you're unfulfilled and you don't have date nights and you don't invest in each other and it's kind of like two ships passing in the night, then that's fine. That's the type of marriage that you want. I am trying to have more orgasms and less divorce.
I know that's right. We get that on a t-shirt. And on that note, we are going to go pay some bills. We will be right back after this.
Hey y'all, this your girl KK. I'm down here with Street Talk and my Lane's Thursday night event. Let's take it to the street, see what the people got to say. Alrighty, we're here with, what's your name?
Ayana.
All right, Ayana, how do you identify?
I'm bisexual.
All right, so, sex on the first date or no?
It depends on the person.
Well, I mean,
Maybe
what about?
sometimes. Yeah, if it's a girl, I would.
If
I
it's
don't
a girl?
know. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, what's the gayest thing you ever done?
I mean, I had sex at work with a girl by accident.
By accident? You sure?
It wasn't supposed to happen at work.
It was by accident, y'all. It was a mistake on purpose. That's what we gonna call it.
It was by accident. I swear.
Okay. Y'all heard it here. Street talk. Here in the streets. So what's your name?
Hollywood.
All right, Hollywood. How do you identify?
I identify as a straight man, heterosexual.
Already. So, question I need to ask you is, what's your favorite sex position?
I see. All right, my favorite one, like, I ain't really got no favorite. As long as my penis is some pussy, you feel me? I'm good, you feel me? I can do it from the front, the back. Matter of fact, I like doing like this little scissor shit, you feel me? So when she laying on the side and I put her leg up, you feel me? I just get in, dip in that shit like that, you feel me? Dip in that shit. That's how I like, you feel me? Yeah.
By all means.
Yeah.
So, do you have to use KY or do you know what you're doing with your mouth?
Oh yeah, my mouth game nasty, you feel me? Ain't no KY, ain't even in the house, you feel me?
Not at all.
Fuck that, you
No-
feel
no
me?
jelly,
no
no
none of that.
nothing.
I'm nasty in the mouth game.
Already, he already said the tongue going 10 miles per hour. Or
Man, fuck
100.
10, 100, you feel me? This road runner mouth right here, you dig? Ah.
Already, so do you like them small or big? Oh, small, yeah, or big.
See, it don't really matter for real, you feel me? Everybody got something different to offer, you feel me? Small ones, you can throw them around. Big ones, they can throw you around, you feel me? I like to get thrown around sometimes.
Well, y'all heard it right here in the streets with my man Hollywood.
Ah.
All right, so we here in the streets. What's your name?
Tony Pior.
All right. How do you identify?
Open, like you mean like sexually or like gender? Cause I'm a male. I don't know. Gay, bi, trans, open to everything. I fuck them all. I fuck everybody.
Hey, we just gonna leave it just as that. All right. So what I want to know is being on your knees only for praying?
Yes. Absolutely. That's the only time we get down there. Like, what else you can get? Like, what else are you doing down there?
I don't get on mine besides prayer.
Yeah, prayer. I think you should squat now. No more knee action. Squat. It's better.
It's better for
Yeah,
your
the
knees to catch yourself
Yeah,
in case you
yeah.
fall.
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't
so
disrespect. Don't get on your knees.
hey,
Go ahead.
by all means necessary. So, are you single, taken, or in a situationship?
I'm single.
You heard this right here,
Very.
single and only getting on the knees for prayer.
Yeah, very single.
So if you like all the knee stuff, it ain't for you.
Mm-mm.
It ain't going.
No, it ain't.
All right, y'all heard it here in the streets. We here in the streets. What's your name?
Ryan,
Ryan. How do you identify?
I'm gay.
All right, Ryan. So, would you ever date a trans person?
No, I
No.
wouldn't. I don't have anything against trans people. That's just
Right.
not my preference.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, is it sex on the first date or no?
No,
No.
definitely not.
You got to get to know him a little bit
Yeah,
first. Yeah, I understand
definitely.
it can't be throwing it all out there, right?
Yeah, not on the first go.
Right, and we
It's too
can't give
much.
up everything. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because some people just not worth it. I'm just saying.
No, for real.
Yeah, I understand. So, last question. What was the gayest thing you've ever done?
I put on my best friend's sports bra one time. Like as a joke, we was in the house just on some playing shit, but that's probably the gayest thing I ever did.
It was put on a sports bra.
Yeah.
The gayest thing for me, I put on a dress.
For real.
Yeah,
We
for
probably cute,
prom.
though.
Everybody and their mother was trying to take me out. I'm trying to tell
It was
you.
bad.
It was very gay. Like, yeah, but y'all heard it first here in the streets.
Thanks again to In My Lane Entertainment and our In the Streets reporter, KK. The questions and the answers are crazy. Thank you again for everyone out there for participating in our Street Talk segment. And thank you again to Miss Myoshi Smith, the fabulous sexpert and relationship coach. Tell the guests again how you can be reached and found on social media.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, so I am a little controversial and a lot of fun on Instagram. So you can find me Romance by Myoshi, and that's spelled Myoshi.
Okay, great. And thank you again for coming out again and watching us on our YouTube channel, Queer Conversations. We love you. We appreciate you. Catch us again next month on our monthly episodes. And remember, we are changing the world one conversation at a time. See you next time. Good night.